everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm the City Witch. Today's video I'm going to talk to you about books on angels. Now I was going to do this as a video on angels and books on demons as well, but as I started filming I realised I was getting to the point of half an hour and I was only just finishing the angel books, so I've decided to refilm this and do this as two separate videos to make it easier for you guys, especially if you're not interested in books on demons or not on angels. At least you've got a choice then of which video to watch. So that's why I'm going to do it this way, guys. So this one is just going to be books on angels. Now I have 5 books in total here I'm going to talk to you about. A couple of them do cover ritual magic with angels and actually summoning and invoking them and working with their energies, and some of them don't. Some of them are just encyclopedias that cover content, information, myths, legends and stories. So there's a nice variety here. I do recommend that you always have one book that covers all the stories, myths and legends in order for you to properly research the angel that you're planning to work with before you work with it. The same with any demonic forces as well. Make sure you do your research thoroughly and that you've really looked into it before you go ahead and summon anything. You need to make sure that you also, when you're working with these forces, know how to summon but also how to send it back safely and how to remain safe during these ritual practices. That would be my biggest tip if you're going to do any of that, guys. But if you want, I will do a separate video on how to work with these forces safely and how to design a ritual around that. So just drop me a comment below if that's something you're interested in. So the first book I'm going to talk to you about is one called the Encyclopedia of Angels, and it's by Richard Webster. So Richard Webster is quite a famous writer now in the magical community. I have 3 or 4 of his books, I think, in total. I personally find him quite dry as a writer, quite dull, but his information is quite informative. He's very accurate. He does do his research, and he spent a lot of time as a researcher as well. So when he goes out of his way to do his books, he spends a lot of time planning them, mapping them, making sure the content is correct, so you know that everything in it is a good source. And he also provides you a lot of information at the back of the book for his source content and further reading, which I also like about him. The book is quite a decent size. I've had it quite a long time, so the pages are a little bit on the yellowy side. Points that he wants you to note about this book are as follows. Discover the roles of angels in various spiritual texts and religions throughout history. Meet your guardian angel, the archangels, the angel presiding over your astrological sign, and much more. Learn the best methods and most favourable times to communicate with each angel. So in this book, he kind of makes out that he's giving you ways to communicate with the angels, and that sort of makes you think, oh, there's going to be some magical quality to this book. There's going to be, you know, some way that I can work with the angels and he's going to give me that. But that's actually not true. He gives you 4 invocations to work with at the back of the book, but no content on how to do them. No ritual format, no safe method to invoke these forces at all, which I thought was a little bit irresponsible. So that showed, you know, to me, a little bit of laziness on the writer's part. I also felt like this either should have been an encyclopedia or a magical book, but not a combination of both because of the way he wrote it. I found his writing, let's say, quite dry, quite dull. So when I was reading his book, I got bored easily. I tended to skip through pages. I didn't want to read all of the content, especially the A to Z of all the angels, because there was a lot of them. Good points about this book, though, is he does, when he's giving you all the angels, give you good information, which I, as of yet, haven't found a mistake. So most of what I've read, I've been able to go somewhere else, find that information. It's been pretty much the same. He gives you good ways to pronounce the angel names as well, so you know how to summon them correctly. He also gives you content to look at on other pages that connect to various other angels, so you can gain a bigger story, a bigger picture from each angel. So as an example, there's one on here called Asal, and it says at the bottom of that description for that angel, see guardian angels, particularly the virtues, for more information. So there are stories that connect to other angels and he leads you to those, which I like. It's a shame he doesn't give you the page number though that information's on, so I would have liked to have had the page where the virtues were to just skip to it, but he doesn't do that. So I then have to go out my way to find the virtues, which yes, everything's in alphabetical order, but it would have been nice for a page number to just flip through quick. So a little bit disappointed there. There's also no content to this, like no tables of contents, no information that gives you a way to look at the angels without the name. So if you had an angel approach you or a force you believe to be an angel and you did not know their name, you would have to spend time going through each and every angel in this book to figure out which one was trying to reach out to you. I don't like that. I like, you know, I like books to give me alternate ways to research what I'm looking for. So I like a book, for example, to say, okay, these are all the angels for love, these are all the ones for money, these are all the archangels. I like tables of contents in order for me to find what I'm looking for, and I'd love a page number to be connected to that so I can go and look at that page and read more about that angel in depth. He just doesn't do that in this book. So as it was my first book at the time, I loved it, but now I've got better books, I know better. So my honest opinion about this book is it's not as good as it's made out to be. I find it quite dry, quite boring. And the invocations at the back was a little bit irresponsible because he doesn't give you safe ways to do it. He doesn't go into enough detail about how to work with angels safely, correctly. And he doesn't really point out enough about the different types of angels as well. Like, obviously you've got your angels, but then you've got your fallen angels as well, and some of those in here that he lists are actually fallen, and if you were to work with that one and not realise it's fallen and therefore might then be demonic, you'd be in trouble. So there's a little bit of laziness for me in this book, which I don't like. So for that reason, I would only score this about 5 out of 10, and I think I'm being generous there. But I've kept it in my collection because there aren't that many books out there on angels and actually researching them. So it's good to keep as a reference, but I don't use this one generally to identify an angel. I have a much better one, which I'm going to show you right now. So the book I like, this is probably my favourite in my whole collection, the one I use the most. It's called The Dictionary of Angels, including that of the Fallen Angels, and it's by Gustav Davidson, and it looks like this. Now this is a wonderful book, guys. This is such a big book, and it's packed with information. And before anyone asks me, yes, this is a book that covers rituals, spells, invocations, incantations, ways to work with your angels, and it gives you a massive amount of appendices at the back of the book that you can work with in order to figure out which angel you want, how you're going to work with that angel, and what they rule over. So that, you know, there's loads of information in this book, and I'm going to read you some of the content now so you know what's in this book. I'm not going to go through every single appendix though, because there's a lot, guys. God, the pages are stuck together. There we go. So you get a full introduction and then acknowledgements for this book. Then you get a dictionary of the angels, which is listed as an A to Z as well. But then for the appendices, which covers the majority of the book, I mean, it goes from page 335 to 362. So there's a lot of information in this book, guys. So he gives you an angel manuscript, so like angel text that you can use to create spells and incantations and rituals, and some of the angels actually using their own language. The order of the celestial hierarchy, the 7 archangels, the thrones of angels, the governing angels of the 12 months of the year, spirits, messengers, intelligences, and the 7 planets, angelic governors of the 12 signs of the zodiac, the archangels and angels of the 7 days of the week, angels of the planets, the seasons, the days and the nights, times of day and the night, the 72 angels bearing the mystical name of God, the 70 amulet angels invoked at the time of childbirth, the names of Metatron, the great watchers, the fallen angels, the names of Lilith, angels of punishment and archangels of punishment, the seals of the 7 angels, magic circles, and then sigils, charts, pacts, and orders of angels. And then just to go in depth with that, it talks about exorcisms, prayers, the serpent of conjunction, the tree of life, spells for manufacturing and use of magic carpets, invocation for love and angels to work with for love, conjuration of the sword, mystical seals, death invocation, conjuration of good spirits. The list kind of goes on and on and on, guys. There's a lot of information in this book. There is also some really nice artwork throughout this book as well. Just see if I can find you one. So you get artwork like that. I mean, it's a shame it's not in colour, but it does tell you where it's come from, what it's depicting as well. And then you also sometimes get some symbols throughout the book that relate to the angels. Can't actually find one at the moment, but there are some, honestly. Oh, there we go. So there is one there. And again, it gives you a note on what that is. So that one is the Angel of Raziel. So it's a seal, an amulet for him that you can use and incorporate. And then you get some statues and photography of famous things around the world as well, where that's from, who designed it, the architect or the artist. And then say at the back of the book, you've then got lots of tables of contents of information, which is all the stuff that I was listing to you before. And it kind of goes into a massive amount of detail, guys. And then it even gives you symbols for the angels, and then all the different star signs, planets, and energies related to that as well. So this book goes into so much detail, and it does give you a way to cast a circle, summon in an angel. It gives you a way to look up the angels in a simple format. It talks to you about angels you can use for love, which obviously is one of the biggest subjects in the craft world, so it's not surprising it focused on that. Also talks about exorcism, so if you want to get rid of an angel or any other force. Talks to you about positive and negative angels as well. Talks to you about the archangels, the regular angels, the seraphs, the virtues. There's so much information in this book, more so than the other one. So this is my favourite. This is easily one that I'd score 10 out of 10. The content is amazing. The book is jam-packed full of information. I wasn't bored when I read it. I read it from cover to cover. Really enjoyed the appendices at the back and all the information. Have not used it all, obviously, but I have used a number of the different information in this book to be able to work with the angels and to research the correct angel I want to work with as well. And there's a number of angels now due to this book that I work with on a regular basis and I've built relationships with over the years. And I've had this book now for, I'd say, about 16 years. So it's quite an old book. I did spend a decent amount of money on it. I will warn you guys, it cost me 16 quid. So it was a decent pretty penny, and in dollars it says $19.95. So you know, it is a decent costly book, but it is worth it. I would definitely say this is probably one of the best books I have in my collection, especially if you want to work with angels. So 10 out of 10 from me. The next book I'm going to show you, I'm not going to dwell on too much because this isn't really a magical book, but it's one that caught my eye on a bookshelf and I actually really liked it, mainly because it's holographic. I'm a bit like a magpie, I'm drawn to shiny things, guys. But I'm glad I picked it up because it's really colourful and interesting. I love books like this in my collection, and they come across as quite childlike or kiddie, but I like that. I like books that put a fun spin on things, and I like books that are a bit different and a bit out there, and this book fell into that category for me. So that's what it looks like, and as you see, very shiny, very holographic, and it's called The Book of Angels, and it's by Ruth Thompson and L.A. Williams. And the content of this book is as follows. The beginning, archangels and angelic lore. So it literally just covers those things. And then throughout this book, just to let you know, guys, I mean, this is supposed to be the different heavens and the different bodies of heaven. And then throughout the book, you get this beautiful kind of gothic-y, bright, colourful artwork and designs. All the content and information is stuff that has actually come from the Bible or references around the world to the angels. And these are all the main archangels there. Talks to you about how things like phoenix and dragons connect to angels, how they are also higher beings. Talks to you about the seraphs and all the different ruling areas of life that they rule in. So music, the arts, dance, that kind of a thing. Talks to you as well about angel alphabets. So despite it being more aimed at kids, I actually really like this book. I like its style, I like the art, I like the imagery. The content is good. I mean, that's you know, an archangel fighting a dragon. You know, there's stories, there's myths and legends. Talks to you about the different angels and goes through stories about them as well. So I do like this book. I did find it really interesting. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It's fun to go through, and if you've got kids would probably enjoy this as well. And if angels is something you want them to get interested in, or they're already interested in angels, this book would be great to just sort of spur that along a little bit more. Yeah, so I like this book, despite it being, you know, one of those books that's a bit more childlike. I did enjoy it. I think the content's really good. It also touches on Lucifer, talks about his story. So just to show you this, talks about his fall from grace and the big war in heaven and angels that obviously fell with him. And then it talks to you about the Garden of Eden and the serpent story. So it's brilliant. I really enjoy it. There's a lot of lore and content in this book as well. So it gives you biblical tales. So it talks to you about, you know, a story from Jacob in the Bible. It does give you references to palms as well in this book. And it does talk to you about the saints on earth and the angels that worked with them as well. So even if you're not religious and you're not Christian or Catholic or, you know, into the Kabbalah, and you don't particularly believe in angels, this is still a beautiful book to have in your collection. The artwork alone is really stunning in it. The stories are quite accurate and really good to sink your teeth into, and as it is quite a basic book, like I said, it doesn't cover any magic, but if you just want to know a little bit more about the angels and you don't want to be bombarded with, you know, a big thick book like this that talks about absolutely everything, you just want the basics, this would be really good for that, and it'd be interesting at the same time. So I would probably score this about 7 out of 10, even though it's not a magical book. It is one I enjoy, it's one I have in my collection because I like it, my nieces like it, so therefore I keep it. So 7 out of 10 from me. And the last book on angels I'm going to talk to you guys about is called An Angel Treasury, a celestial collection of inspirational encounters and heavenly lore, and it's by Jackie Newcomb, known as the Angel Lady. And it looks like that. So this is quite a weighty book. It's quite old as well. I believe I've had this quite a long time. I wonder if I can tell you when it was written, probably. Maybe not. So, oh, here we go, hang on. So it was written in 2004, so it is quite an old book now. Just to give you an idea of the content. So you get acknowledgements about the author to begin with, and then chapter 1 is frequently asked questions about angels. Chapter 2, the Angel Almanac, so this covers angels of assistance, angels that help with life problems, angels and hobbies, angels and occupation, archangels and their planets, angels of punishment, angels of the seasons, angels of the week, angels of winds, and angels of the zodiac. And then there is an A to Z guide on the angels by their names. There is an angel name and their meaning, so she goes a bit more into depth about the translation of that, and she also gives you the original names in foreign languages as well and how to translate it and what that means. Chapter 5, the angelic hierarchy, so Saint Thomas, the hierarchy of the angels and the cherubs and what are cherubs. And then chapter 6, archangels, so the traditional roles of the archangels, how many archangels are there, what are the names of the archangels names, variations, cross-references, and angels of charge. And chapter 7, fallen angels, who were the fallen angels and hell, how many fallen angels were there, why did the angels fall, other references to bad angels. Chapter 8, angels and culture, so the arts, celebrities, films and television, music. And then chapter 9, angels and religion, so different religions. So it talks about Jewish traditions, the New Testament, the Kabbalah, Christianity and Catholic beliefs. And then chapter 10, angels in our lives, so how they affect you, the beliefs on how angels work in our lives. And then angels and children is chapter 11. Chapter 12, angels helping in times of danger. Chapter 13, angels, how we can help them. Chapter 14, angels and healing stories. 15, guided angel meditations, and she gives you a variety of those as well. Chapter 16, candles, crystals and herbs for angels. Chapter 17, angels and astrology, so working with the planets and the zodiac. And then chapter 18 is communicating with your angels, and she gives a long list here, so I'm going to read out the main things. So affirmations, altars, artwork, atmosphere, in the bath, calling cards, circles, collage, cooking, dancing and music, divination, cards, gardens and outdoor areas, gifts, household chores, journals, letters, music in dreams, angel names, notes, photographs, poetry, prayers and scrapbooking, and then some extra content from the author and a full index as well. So there's quite a lot of information in this book, and she obviously gives you ways to work with the angels ritualistically, in spells, to summon and invoke them, invite them into your dreams, figure out which angels relate to you most of all, so the one for your planet, the one for your star sign, if there's an archangel that rules over the day of the week you were born. So there's lots and lots of different angels that might be connected to you based on your birth that you don't know about, and she gives you lots of ways to figure that out and work with the angels. And then in different areas of your life, she breaks it down to the angels that are good for all sorts of different things, like art and music and, you know, becoming famous and, you know, being blessed as a celebrity. So all those kinds of things are in this book. And I remember when I went through it as well that I thoroughly enjoyed it, and at the same time I went through this book, I was reading Silver Ravenwolf's book on her angel magic, and I've got to say I hated her angel book, but I love Jackie Newcomb's. I thought Jackie Newcomb laid it out much better. She talked about the dark and the light aspects of angels, prepared you for an encounter with a dark angel or a fallen angel rather than a light angel, and I really liked that about her writing, whereas Silver Ravenwolf was just more about how to connect with them, writing them stories and letters, signs and symbols, and how to incorporate angels into your life, and it was all positive fluffy stuff, which is okay, but I was starting to break away from that at that point in my life, and therefore when I read her book, I hated it. I thought it was really boring, really dull, didn't resonate with me at all, so I put it down, never picked it up again, and eventually I just gave it away, and I think the person I gave it away to eventually gave it away. So it's not something I kept, it's not something that I felt was worthy of my book collection, whereas this one, I do refer to, and when I want to work with the angels, I do go back to the rituals in this to work with the angels. Now I'm very experienced, I do things more in a cult style, so I don't necessarily follow this as much as I used to, but there's still a number of things in this, like the meditations, that I really enjoy, that connects me to angels, and if I want to go back to that kind of magic, it's all here in this book. So this one is definitely one I would say have in your collection, guys. It's worth it. So this one is easily a 10 out of 10 from me. Really enjoyed it, and she's a fantastic writer. And that's it. That's all the 5 books I have for you today, guys. So I hope you enjoyed the video. As always, if you did, give me that thumbs up and click the bell button so YouTube will tell you when my next video comes out. If you don't already know, I'm on various forms of social media, and all of the links are in the content. I'm on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and of course I have a Patreon account as well. So if you guys would like to support my humble channel, then please do so, and thank you very much for those out there that do. I do appreciate each and every one of you for your support. So thank you for watching. Be good to each other as always, and I'll see you soon. Blessed be.